On tonight's episode, I got my homies Team Rick down with me to cover Wonder Woman 1984. And this was actually Ricky's idea because I wanted to cover it briefly. I figured there would be so many people talking about this movie, it'd be dead in the water. What the hell with it? You know what I'm saying? My homies, they do this with me. So fuck it. So I think Ricky wants to go first. He's gonna summarize without spoilers why you should or shouldn't see it in his opinion. Now, Ricky?
Go ahead. I'm gonna start with this one thing. It's on a streaming service, which is the only pro you'll get from me for watching this movie. This was such a monumental letdown in terms of movies. I couldn't believe that this movie would follow the string of good DC movies that we've had recently. Because this feels like a 10 years ago Superman Returns type movie that don't deserve, like, I ain't gonna say deserve respect, but just like, I was just like surprised at like, the movie made me have to make all these logical leaps to guess what was happening, as opposed to properly explaining so many things in this movie. And it just, for me, I was like surprised that you had the foundation of Wonder Woman 1 to jump into this, because this felt like such a by itself movie. Like, it had no foundation. It uses nothing based off of the previous movies in terms of like solid foundation. And I was just hurt by it. The bad guy was underwhelming. The secret bad guy was ultra underwhelming. The like Kristen Wiig was fantastic and wasn't in the movie enough. Her characterization was super basic, and then even her transformation to Cheetah was super abrupt. So I felt like it wasn't really earned. There wasn't many things, man, for me to like about this movie besides Chris Pine's character. But then his explanation when he's in the movie is also a letdown. I just wish I liked enough of this movie to say it was good, but like, I don't like it.
Honestly, even though we might be slightly different. Stancy, I agree with so much of what you said. What number would you give it?
4 out of 10.
Okay.
And I actually thought about what DCEU movies I like more than it, and there's so many more that I like than this one.
I gotta ask you what you asked me. How did it make you feel? Is it still a 4?
Oh no, 2 ratings. The quality of the movie was a 7 or 8 because you could tell this was definitely like a made-for movie theater movie. But like, just overall, my enjoyment was a 4 out of 10.
Okay.
The quality 7 or 8. I think 7 more. Like how objectively how I feel about it, 4 out of 10.
All right. Rick, I think you should go next because I have a feeling you're going to be the balance between me and Ricky. I could be wrong.
I mean, it was a letdown, but I can't say I didn't enjoy it. I enjoyed the action, but all in all, it was a letdown. But then again, I didn't go in with too much expectation.
Okay.
I think my favorite parts, or not even favorite, the best parts to me were the beginning with her as a child, and just the end, because it was just all of it. It was just so much going on at the end. It kind of made you forget the story, if you could really call it a story, because there was just so much action and things going on that you were just okay with it. But like you said, if it was in the movie theater, I would have been very hurt. But because it's not, I mean, if it was in the movie theater, I would probably agree with the 4 out of 10. I think because I just enjoyed it in the comfort of my home, and I didn't really have to spend money for the movie besides HBO Max, I would go with a 6.5.
Okay. So convenience helped your score.
Yes.
All right.
Convenience helped my score a lot.
All right. All right. And now for my take on the movie, but without spoilers. I'm trying not to do too much. Y'all know I'm the king of doing too much, so I try not to. Fuck that. I got it mostly memorized. Look, I feel I'm going to say this. That's our thing. We always say that shit. There was some, not pandering in this movie, but there was a lot of inclusivity that didn't go unnoticed. I struggle not to use the phrase heavy-handed with things in this movie. Out the gate, I'm going to say my score and justify it. Using the system that I love that Ricky gave me. It made me feel at times at the best of this movie, like it was a 7.5. But if I'm being honest with anyone, the best I can give this movie, and I liked it, is a 6. I can't give it a 6.5. Not shitting on you, Rick. I'm not saying that to contrast.
No,
I literally was at one point like, you know what? I'm being generous and I got to give it a 6.5. But as the movie went on, it's 2.5 hours. I was like, I can't give it more than a 6. I like the movie's message because there is one. I love Diana Prince. I love Gal Gadot. I'm be real with y'all, yo. And Fast and Furious, I think 37 that she was in. I was like, she's pretty, but she's almost wooden to me. You know what I mean? But man, I remember when I heard she got cast as Wonder Woman, and you can ask Ricky, Rick. I was like, fuck, she don't even have a body type. But titties be damned, that woman has so much sex appeal, and she's great as Wonder Woman. But not even her portrayal of Diana Prince could carry this movie beyond the 6 for me. At its best, it felt like you were watching a movie made by someone you loved a lot. So you're like, damn, this is good, considering my auntie made this shit. It's like she didn't have the chops to make a blockbuster movie, but got nominated anyway. And she only watched a slew of Family Channel specials made for TV movies. The choreography, at times, it feels almost, the special effects, I want to say, feel floaty. Things don't feel real enough. And that's what bothers me. So I like the heart and soul of this movie, but you'll spend a lot of time having to go like, yeah, it's like cheering for it's like you cheering for kids in a soccer game and they all suck, but you love them, and kids are the future. You're taking a lot of things into account. So I feel like this movie isn't the shit show that I've been hearing it is, in my opinion, but I would not argue with anyone who feels like it is that. I feel like I was let down, like Ricky said, because there's a lot of things that have an uphill battle with validity. Years ago, Dana White said he would never allow women to fight in the UFC. Ronda Rousey came along and he changed his whole tune. You know what I mean? But for every boring fight there is with women, that makes a whole bunch of dudes who just won't give them a fair shot say, now see, this is proof. And that's unfair. But I feel like Wonder Woman 1984 does that for female hero movies. Whereas Wonder Woman, the first one, it was solid. It gave me hope. Shitty villain. And apparently that seems to be So that's why I'm gonna give it.
I didn't want to go too deep into the villain, but that I'm gonna hit when we start.
Yeah, I definitely won't spoil anything, but I can definitely say I was very let down by the villain and the message itself creating a villain out of an aura as opposed to an actual villain. It's like, ooh, this emotion is the actual villain. I didn't need that. I came to see Gal Gadot fuck people up. You know what I mean? They really threw in some PG vibes too. Like nobody could get too fucked up. And it seemed like they thought there was a whole bunch of little ass kids going to see this movie. There might be, but damn it, the movie PG-13 for a reason. I need her kicking more ass. You know what I mean? That last one was cool, but she should be beating the fuck out of folk. I mean, like delivering the ass whooping. So sorry for fucking monopolizing too much time because y'all made y'all snappy and I always got to overdo it. So
you good.
Thank you. I give it a 6 at best. Rick, you say 6.5, and Ricky gives it a 4. Take that for what it's worth, everybody. I say,
and honestly,
what's up?
Honestly, I give it a 6.4, but I think 6.5. But I think you probably liked it more than I did. I only give it a 6.5 because I didn't really have expectations for it. I didn't have high expectations, and I was watching it at home. So to me, I compared it to like any other movie that we watched, as opposed to a movie like, oh my gosh, like DC movie. So it was just like, Wonder Woman 1994 on the TV. It was good for a movie I'm just watching on TV.
Okay. All right. Now I'm going to bring up the beer, and I want to point out our biggest gripes and our highlights, if you can.
Because we'll get mine.
After you introduce this beer, let me talk about these grapes because I got fresh in my mind at least like a good 10.
Definitely. So fuck it. I might as well say it's spoiler territory. And before we go into spoiler territory, before we crack this beer open, we always gotta watch Rick do something fantastic. I love when he does it. Look. I don't want to do too much, but fuck yo. Right now, I don't have a bigger female crush, celebrity-wise, than Gal Gadot. That could change because y'all know me. I love women, but man, like I'm behind on the time. The word swag is outdated, but I don't know what else to use. When she shrugged them motherfucking wings off and did a little squawk.
Yeah.
If I had a vagina, it'd be swishing. Yo, everybody be drowning. Mario, you know what I mean? Niggas, I'm telling you. So anywho, what we drinking tonight?
Let me get my beer.
We are drinking tonight Bolero Snort Brewery. What is this called? Wait, what is this? Is that like a fancy name? I don't know. Oh, it just says Our Princess and Another Castle.
Yeah. I think Bolero, this is their emblem, the bull, Bolero Snort Brewery. So that's why.
But the beer itself don't got no fancy name though.
I guess it's up, down, right. Our princess is in another council.
I'll say up, down, right. I like that.
For anybody in Jersey, because I don't know if we have that much reach. I got this on the liquor store on 33. Buy right. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right across the street from Pizza Hut. I'm pretty right. Is that? Yeah.
This is peach cherry kettle sour with milk sugar. Hopefully it's not trash.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Let's do it. Cheers.
All right. Yeah.
This is hitting.
Yeah, it does a weird pucker thing, but this is by far the least trash shit we've had in a while.
Yeah.
Yo, what was our last beer we tried? What was the? Oh yeah, that shit. Oh my god, never mind. The hooker spit.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Off top, I'm gonna give it a 7.
I co-sign that.
I'm going 8 on this one.
Ooh, for taste.
I'm feeling it.
All right, I give. You know what? I'm gonna change my tune. I'm gonna be a diva.
No nasty beer face today.
Yeah, yo, that's one of the best things about the show. Watching Ricky grimace through it, and then realizing how much he's right, and then watching Rick just fucking power through it like it ain't shit. I gotta go with Ricky on this. I'm gonna give it an 8 because it tastes pretty good, and it's a 7.5 ABV alcohol. You know?
It tastes good, but I'm gonna see how it makes me feel because it's still too early.
It's 7.5%. Oh, we got sour monkey.
I mean, we do. You're right.
This 7.5 ain't gonna get you drunk.
It makes sense behind the wheels.
If it's taste wise, then I give it an 8.5 straight off taste.
Yeah, I'm with that.
As a beer, it tastes really good.
Okay.
The thing
I like it.
You drink it, you wouldn't really you wouldn't know it's a beer.
No,
at the end, this is the least beer tasting beer that I've had.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with you there, Rick. That's why I would give it an 8.
And I feel like you know that milk sugar. Anybody feel like they taste that milk sugar?
No.
Like it's so faint that I can't. It's at the end. I do this weird pucker thing. But when I read peach and cherry kettle sour ale with milk sugar, I think that's fucking gross. But I never taste that's fucking gross in this because we've tasted some gross shit here at Brews. This is
Shoot, they put the cheat code in this. That's why that up down.
Yeah, you're right, man. Right. Fuck the princess. Well, no, I ain't gonna say that.
Yeah.
Wait.
You're right. I do fuck the princess. Before
Ricky, can I go up, down, right?
Hell yeah. It's going down, right?
I just want to rain on your parade because I got so many negative things to say about this movie.
All right,
not like so many negative things, just like things that bother me about the movie.
All right, one pro. Can I say I'm with you?
I'll go for it.
One of my highlights. It went almost unnoticed, especially since Rick got the background up. I feel like this was so smart. I love nuance sprinkled in. When the movie started, there was a certain thing when they had to go when each person during a race shot an arrow. their color would be, it would be in plumes, right? And I was like, those are the colors I see in that damn advertisement. I just thought that was, you know, a nice little, you know what I mean? It's like
I'm glad you picked that up because I'm wondering why all the colors. Where the heck they all come from?
Well, the colors are for each person writing. Like if you see blue,
oh no, I get that. I mean in the
80s is like 80s is a big part of this. Remember?
Let me ask you like a kaleidoscope kind of color.
Yeah. This was they kept the 80s theme hard. But I don't want to do too much.
Yeah, they did.
It's Vicky's turn.
First, number one gripe: why is a jewelry store a front for a black market antique dealer?
I'm sorry.
Number one. I was like,
oh, this is spoilers. This is spoilers. I'm sorry, that was my fault.
Oh, yeah, this is spoilers. Yeah, I'm sorry, it's spoilers. So like, it's a jewelry store in a mall. It's not even a separate store outside the mall owned by some dude. This is inside the mall that somehow doubles as a black market
jewelry store. Yep.
Seriously.
But then again, no one would ever know.
We got to give Ricky this. That's bullshit. That's definitely bullshit.
It is, but you know what? I just got born. I don't care.
No, that's hilarious.
They might
care, but it's still.
They might have them all over, but we don't know.
Secondly, I'm going to jump around the movie because I'm just thinking of the number one gripes that hit me hardest. Secondly, she seems so worried about the language that's on the Dreamstone's ring with the writing. To me, like she gasped when she first saw it. Then she realizes who it might be, and then they never talk about it again the entire movie. I had to literally look at it. I had to look up the article. I'm like, who is this person? Because his name was super weird. I found out who he was, and he was never mentioned again. So I'm like, secret boss ending that I never get. No,
no. Yep. My biggest gripe.
Oh, wait. Maxwell Lord is literally like a waste of a bad guy, much like my man from Superman Returns, the dude who played Lex Luthor. That's how bad it was. Like he was that whack.
That's my gripe.
He was that unnecessary.
He really was. He really was.
Be progressive. Move him out the way and let Barbara Minerva do her thing. Because all that time you hit me with the used car salesman is time I'm not getting with Cheetah, and then you're disrespecting her because she's one of the best things in this whole movie.
Yeah, and the biggest thing that killed me with him was it went 0 to 60, and then at no point was he really close with his son. They didn't sell me that he was close with his son, and then that brought him back. He's like, oh, all this goes down. He's like, I'm focused. I'm doing this, son, and then it just stops. I'm like, hold up, this whole time you've been pushing him away. You never sold me at the back. They didn't do like a background where he was in touch with his son or nothing. They did
the lasso hit his leg though. The lasso hit his leg, and he realized he was a shitty dad.
I'll say they did justify it. They just did a shit job with it. They gave reasons for it, but it was too little, too late. I agree with you though, Rick, and in a way, I agree with you. I just feel like they did.
That's me looking at
it, but it was just shit.
Like as a father, I look at him like, yes, my son would totally bring me back, but then I wouldn't be a douche like that for him to bring me back. Like there'll be moments where he's there and I would show like, hey, I'm all in, or I do something, or take him to a park. And then, you take him to the park and then you're like, hey, could you watch him? Because I got to go do things. But you literally, every time he came to your office, you didn't even want him there.
Yeah.
Like they didn't show no connection with him at all. And then all of a sudden it's like,
even know where he lives. He just keeps going to the office.
He goes to the office.
He showed his mom. Like, I get it. He's mixed because
he's like,
Hispanic doesn't create Asian.
He grabbed the Uber.
But we showed him mom. Oh man,
ethnic. Don't like that ethnic. I think he like Peruvian.
This sucks. You keep freezing up, Ricky. On my end, at least. That's what sucks.
Oh, I think he was a little too extra. I think he was just too extra with the whole trying to reach like this, like he was too focused on like everything he tried to do. First, he tried to get the oil. Like, oh, the most precious thing is oil. Who else?
It was like oil? It's like he was never satisfied with anything he had, and when he became the Dreamstone, making other people's wishes come true confused me. So I'm like, what do you get out of this? They never explained that. They never explained that he needed to take something once he gave a wish. I had to like
pick it up.
I had to like understand that
They
myself.
did kind of, but they did it in a terrible way. Because at first, when Wonder Woman, when she was losing her powers, I thought it was because the chick wanted to be like her. And then it was when I realized, oh snap, dude came back because she made that wish, so she's losing her most precious thing.
But that's you figuring it out. The movie never explains the rules of how this Dreamstone works. You have to figure it out.
But then they touch base on the whole monkey's paw thing, and that's what
but then like again, that's just like characters figure it out eventually in the story. But by that point, I had already figured it out.
You're right.
Like she knew the stone was connected to a god. And they go and do like the research to like, oh, this is where the stone comes from. Then you got the weird dude with the dreads who like tells you a story about the stone. But like then they don't really give you
out of nowhere
anything else about the stone. Like here's its origins and it grants wishes, but we already know that.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I think they definitely could have done a better job overall.
Should you cover it on my grapes?
Yeah,
I didn't like the sprinkling of further along the plot. Put this person. And I'm gonna allow that dude who was somewhat Mayan with the dreads. That was more subtle as far as the inclusivity, but I was like, I almost feel like that's an insult. Like somebody should have been offended by that motherfucker. He just felt so forced. Like, look at this person of color with dreads.
Could have acted better than this dude who was nowhere near Mayan.
It was like, yo, get this dude who's ambiguously Indian, Mexican.
Yeah, he's Mayan like I'm Chinese.
I never knew. See, hold
up. Ricky, you hit the nail on the head because I was definitely going to talk about how Max Lord, he wants power, right? Because he felt like a nobody. They emphasized the hell out of that. We get it. But it's like, why did you turn yourself into the stone give you, like why did it make you so powerful? I get it, you can grant wishes. But remember they said what you wish for, it also takes something that you value most. What the fuck was he missing? His health? Because you can't say it was his relationship with his son, because like Rick said, he almost, I feel like in the beginning, they tried to show that he felt like a nobody so much that his thing was, my son will not feel this way if I have anything to do with it. But in the same token, you brush him off so damn much, it's easy to disregard that or to not even pick up on what the movie's trying to give you. So what was he losing? His health? That was so terrible. His eyes started to bleed, his nose was bleeding. I was like, this should be good movie. It's piss poor because there are so many things that I had to either hate for, like say, oh, well, it's trying. That's how I felt like I was doing. And that don't make sense, but I'll go along with it to see where this movie's going. And I feel like a movie like Wonder Woman 1984, we shouldn't have so many, what's it called? When we have to keep on saying like, all right, give it a pass. Yeah, I feel like I was giving this movie so many passes.
It did have a lot of passes. I mean, I'll say this, like, at the end, you can kind of make sense of it, but I shouldn't have to make sense of it.
The end is the worst part because it makes no sense.
Because why did he need everybody's wishes at the same time? Like, I didn't get that.
Oh my God. I don't want to steal the thunder, but can I please say my biggest fucking gripe? I thought it was going to be the flighty choreography and the floaty physics of the action. What it was the message part. When she was looking at the screen talking, and then he responded, he said, I'm not talking to you. I'm like, Max Lord, you are a dumbass. I didn't think she was talking to him. I wasn't like, oh, this is supposed to be me. This is supposed to be a message to the world, how we can make the world a better place if we see beyond ourselves. It was so ham-fisted. It was, like, I remember when people talked about Black Panther. I'm gonna be real. That movie, it hit me here. I don't care how much I feel like it. Like a lot of people like, Jesus Christ, did Black people need a movie that bad? Like they love that shit. Yes, and I'm on that Black people cliche thing. When he said, "Bury me in the ocean in the SC," where my ancestors would rather die than be enslaved.
Yeah,
it didn't feel out of nowhere to me because the way the climate of the world, it was relevant. It didn't feel out of nowhere. We always. I think this movie was trying to, I know it was trying to say something at that moment, but it was just too blatant that it was trying to say something to the audience. And it was like, we came here for a good movie. If you gave us the good movie, then you can do this other shit. But you can't do this so obviously poorly, and you didn't give us a good movie. It's like a girl went to have a good time with a guy that she don't really fuck with, but she just got shitted on, right? So she goes out with Steve at her job. Steve said, let's go out for drinks. She don't really fuck with Steve like that, but she just had a terrible 3 weeks at work. She lost promotion. She knew she was better for her. This dude who meant a lot to her just was like, oh, this ain't working out. She heartbroken. So she's like, I need a void filler. Steve goes out. She ain't even into Steve like that. And he make all the worst moves. He fucking want to go Dutch. You know what I'm saying? He can dance. You know what I'm saying? He don't even pay for her drinks. And then at the end of the night, Steve want to cop a feel. She like, bro, you ain't do nothing right. You don't get this pass. That's how I felt. When she started talking to me, I was like, I love you, gal. But you not saying what I want you to say. You supposed to say, Chris, I'm so glad you came to see this movie for me. Have a good night. Hit your boys up. Do an episode of Brews. Sorry this movie ain't hit. You know what I'm saying? But no, she was speaking this message that was written into the movie so poorly. That was probably my biggest gripe.
Again, like, my favorite part, the beginning and the end. Only the parts where, like, it's just the action was right. I will say, when she was fighting Cheetah before she became Cheetah, when she was fighting her with the powers of Diane, with the strength of Diane and stuff, her boyfriend, he was there for her. He was putting in work.
He was like, look, I'm not no superhero. Y'all trying to shoot at my girlfriend.
Yeah, he held it down. I would say those were the 3 parts. I didn't like the flying part. Remember?
Like two flying parts. The invisible jet was pointless.
Garbage.
Pointless.
Yes.
And they just tossed it in there. She's like, my dad made the island invisible.
Yes.
Now I know how to make islands invisible. Like,
yes.
I knew that was going to be a thing. I was like, yo, Ricky would not like this.
Second, when she started flying herself, and she was like, wait, Chris Pine said if I read the wind, I can fly.
It's easy. It's just wind and air. I was like, you know what? Riding lightning would make so much sense, like you're going to do eventually. But why are you literally flying now? Why was she? Yo, she literally changed poses. Yo, she was like,
I was like, hold up. I was like, wait.
I was like, that's not riding lightning. Riding lightning would make sense. But you literally just know, now you know how to fly because you just lost your boyfriend. That's not how things work.
Like, oh my God, I don't have an invisible plane. That's why I gotta fly myself. Like,
yeah, that was terrible. I didn't like the flying.
I really didn't like it. Actually, that's the part that really, I think that overkilled it for me. Because at first I was on the edge. I'm like, okay, I'm getting through this. I like it for the action. I'm glad I didn't pay for this. And then she did that. I was like, really though? Really? Y'all couldn't do this any better? Y'all couldn't, all the ideas you guys came with, this is what y'all did. And then when it just got to that part, and I'm just like, come on, Max. First of all, why do you need everybody wishing at the same? I still don't understand what was the main point.
What was his end goal? Like, what was it?
Exactly.
To control,
I was like, maybe
to have power.
But because you know, because it kind of seemed like he lost himself, right?
Right.
Because it seemed like he was a different person at the end. And then when it was like, oh snap, like, oh, my son. So I was like, maybe this, this god or whatever was taking over, and he's like, they had to destroy the earth or something, but they showed no hint of his real point for doing all this at the same. And I get it, like, oh my gosh, I'm bleeding. Maybe if I get a whole bunch of wishes at the same time, I can knock it out, because 2, 3 more, I'm not going to make it. My body can't handle it. But then still, what's your point?
That was stupid. It was
like, why put your body through that if you don't really have a main goal? Like, I don't, like,
they didn't explain why that caused his body to do that. And like Ricky said, why was it a fair trade where he could get what he wanted? That's bullshit. If that's how genies work, why would they? What's the point in trickery if it's a fair trade? Hey, yo, what do you wish for? Yeah, I wish for a better job. That way I can feel like I'm in a better position in life, but I'm also earning it. Okay, so since you get that, I get your house. Well, nigga, if I had a better job, I'll buy another house. Then you don't have to like trick me into hurting myself. You right. Where your mom at? You know what I mean? Like, it was like Ricky said, we had to assume too much. And like you said, Ricardo, it was dumb for him to just keep on wanting to grant wishes and be powerful. Like, that's dumb. It's either selfless or selfish. It just made him this villain who was pointless. He was worse than the villain in the first one. And that's pretty fucking bad.
And the thing with that too is
Eisenberg look good as Lex Luthor, just to throw it out there.
Like, my thing too is like they never hinted at a point where he really need to go extreme with what he want. Like there was nothing that made him there was no point where he was like, oh my gosh, I want to rule the world. It was always like, hey, I just want to make my son proud, or I'm gonna get you this. Then he gets there, and it's not like he really showed that he enjoyed it or that they didn't show that this wasn't enough for him. He just always wanted more and more and more, and you're like, but you never showed how far you wanted to go. And during this whole time, it just seemed like you just wanted oil.
Can I guess something? I think his insatiable quench for power was the monkey's paw. Like that was a Dreamstone taking like as much
his
as
most valuable thing.
He would never be satisfied with the power he got. And I don't know if that had something to do with the fact that he became the stone. It just seems to me like that was his downfall, was wanting too much.
I thought that was part of the message. Yes, I agree with you, Ricky. But I feel like we shouldn't have to build that on our own. It's obvious, but at the same time, it's dumb to have an aimless villain. That's stupid. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to give, as much as I give this movie a pass because I love what it could have been and because I love the characters. I love Diana Prince, love Wonder Woman. I like Chris Pine a lot. I love their relationship. You know what I'm saying? But it was stupid how, like, don't get me wrong, bro. If I understand why they were so vague and how he came back, because they like, look, we can't play with that shit because we can't talk about a definite heaven if we're talking about gods in another pantheon. That's a conflict. You know what I'm saying? Like, how is there a supreme God in whatever religion you want to put him in, be it Christian, Allah, anything like that? How are we going to explain to people that he exists or that entity exists, while also talking about we have the Greek gods and all that other, because she's the daughter of Zeus, which pisses me off. I'm so tired of Zeus fucking everybody and getting Zeus done sired way too many people, but whatever. I understand.
He's a deadbeat dad. He's a super deadbeat dad.
He's a deadbeat dad.
Yeah.
He's the worst.
Get his shit together.
Yeah, he's real selective too. He give one person all this shit, then somebody be like, "Yo, I'm born half man, half mule," and he be like, "Yeah, that's bullshit."
You better prove it. You better prove it.
There was substance in this movie that I had that was obvious, that was on the front page, but there was a lot of substance missing in this movie. It was really obvious. It was real easy to feel bad for Diana when she was like longing for companionship. And that speech she gave made perfect sense. I do all this. When I don't ask for shit. It's the one thing I want, and I can't. You can't help but feel bad for it. When Chris Pine came back, who wouldn't feel that way? Like, yo, everybody wants a relationship where they feel great about. Imagine you got a girl where she leaves you on cloud nine and you have no doubts about that relationship, and she can fuck people up 10 times as good as you can. So you never gotta really worry about being in harm's way. You just gotta worry about leaving her alone when you die. That's the best kind of fucking girlfriend to have. You know what I'm saying?
Tell you, all y'all be dead. I'm sorry.
I did find to hear that Chris Pine, like her boyfriend wasn't her boyfriend. Like it was a dude. It was another dude, but Chris Pine was in his body. And I kept thinking to myself, like, man, how must the other dude feel? Like, where is he? Like, is he in limbo?
I was wondering.
Is he like taking a nap? Is anybody missing him? Like, what about him?
I see it like Rick was saying. He exists in a place outside of time. And I'm not even trying to be funny. I really feel like when he came to, it just was like he was like, oh shit, I'm back, but I didn't know I was going anyway. But I have a question for y'all, and it's random as fuck, because you know how we do on Brews. You think Diana was like when dude came back in his body, you think she was like, I mean, I was fucking my man, but
She gave him a long side eye, like,
technically, it's not cheating.
We already fucked, technically.
Yes. and it wasn't
just don't know it.
But it ain't like because Chris Pine came back. It was his. No, that was another man.
Dude's body, because it was somebody. It was dude's. It was dude's junk.
She looked at him like I imagine I would look at her if I got some of that Wonder Pussy. You know what I mean? Like yo, she looked twice. And I was like, oh, this is a good movie. And then she's like, I'm like, yeah. It would suck to have smashed a woman on that level and to not know.
Yes.
That would suck.
Yes.
She's like, yo, by the way, we promise. We ain't never gonna do it again. You're like, oh, whoa.
No, one time.
Like, when we walking around the apartment, he's like, why is my video recorder up? And then he's like, VHS? Popping the VCR? That's me.
Girl, I know who you are. You better give it up.
No.
Everybody see who you are.
You do not want to threaten her.
Like, I got a wonderful secret.
You was already in oblivion already. You was already out.
I'm going to try. I'm going to try and finesse my way. Like, hey, I won't tell nobody, and you know you liked it. I seen it. You know what I mean? On,
you can even call me his name. I don't care.
I don't care.
Movie? Like, oh crap, they casted him. That's cool.
I look at it this way: Tokyo Drift was no Turtles in Time. Don't do that. At first,
Hey.
That never happened.
That movie was okay.
No, it never happened.
They gave the fucking turtles spots of bad health. Everyone thought they fucked the wrong girl.
As they get older, they get spots. Look at Morgan Freeman. Look at Morgan Freeman.
He's been old forever. There was a movie in 1987, Ricky. You know how old that nigga was? I think he was 53.
He is old.
Turtles don't have a long lifespan, bro.
They were fucking radioactive. I'm pretty sure that did something to their lifespan, bro. Well, I'm sorry, we got way off topic.
Listen, Wonder Woman 84 is not worth talking about.
Pros, cons, why you would or why you wouldn't. What you think?
I would watch it if it's on HBO Max and you don't have to pay to go to the movies to watch it.
I would pros. It was another Wonder Woman movie, and you can watch it at home. Con, don't watch this movie. Don't watch this movie.
All right. For everything we've said, I think there are some people who say people are too hard on movies. If you feel that way, then definitely give Wonder Woman a shot. But there are people who really look forward to seeing a good presentation, especially when it gets off to a good start. People like that are us, the Brews crew. Ricardo is more lenient if there's more action. This movie didn't have convincing enough action, in my opinion, to escape past all the bullshit that it presented.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Pro Kristen Wiig looked extra bad in this movie. Like Kristen Wiig, you know. Bridesmaid? Yes, please. You know?
I feel like you said, they didn't give her enough time because she is a good actress, and I'm waiting for the movie to present itself where she can show more of that, dude. Like, she kept giving us bits and pieces because the movie only gave her time to give us bits and pieces, and she had a very cliche part. You knew what it was from the start. She's overlooked. She's not confident. She's longing for a connection, and then it makes her resort to drastic measures just so she won't feel like that no one. But she did it great. It was cliche, but if you go to a strip club, see ass and titties, what are you complaining for? But I also went to a strip club for fair prices, good music, and people who don't hound me and my boys every time we finish a fucking beer say, hey, it's COVID, you need a hot dog with that beer. And they shoved hot dogs all in our fucking face and didn't give us reasons for it.